mixing with flair. Every sip's a moment we're happy to share. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worries slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for the day. The clock don't matter, we're lost in the vibe. Jazz in the air, feel the soul come alive. From martinis to bourbon, we're riding the wave. Stealing this hour, it's the freedom we crave. Sun's still shining, but we're in our zone. This bar's our shelter, our temporary home. One more round before the world calls us back. Savor the moment, keep the blues in the rack. We'll laugh and we'll toast till the afternoon fades. Memories made in these liquid escapades. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worries slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for the day. So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun. Our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon. Chasing that jazz under the high noon.
Good to see you. Happy Monday. Jeez. Yeah, it feels like a Monday, doesn't it? Well, nonetheless, I am so glad you're all here. Welcome. Yes, let's start by saying hi to my lovely netter of Netters Network. Calls me the love of her life, always. I am so glad because she is the love of mine. She asks you all to like, share, subscribe, and become a member. Yes, become a member because tonight, Members Night at the Movies. Members get to join me for a very special movie that they have chosen. I haven't got the stream up yet, so technically, members, you can still vote. It's going to be a long shot if you want to change it, because right now it's looking like the 1985 comedy Fletch. That's what it looks like. Last I looked, it was at 75% of the votes. But if you get in there and vote, you might be able to see a different movie, such as St. Elmo's Fire or Perfect, with Jamie Lee. What's her name? This is how Monday fogged I am. Jamie Lee Curtis. That's her name. Wow, really smoking in that movie, let me tell you. I mean, not smoking, but, smoking. Let's see. Yeah, Mark seems to think, he says, Mechpo brought a bottle of hot sauce just in case. Yeah, he thinks that I might go political, and I'm, well, for the most part, not going to. Mark, what you got to understand is this current situation has me pretty damn depressed. I'm feeling a little black-pilled right now, so we'll see how that turns out, but I'm not going to be commenting on it anytime soon. Connie Cleary, the bird woman of YouTube, says, hail, last call with Troy Pacelli, and hail to you too, Connie. Good to see you. FKHC 2005, whom we lovingly refer to as Tim, because that's his name. There goes the planet. Yeah, exactly. We'll get into that in just a second. It's good to see you here, Tim. Don't usually see you at lunchtime. It's I'm glad you're here. Oh, that explains it. I'm off work today. That's why. That is why. And Booger414. I love that word. Booger. Hello, all. And no new wars except this one? Well, yeah. So let's get into it. I see somebody just slipped in under the wire. Hail all, smash the like button and enjoy the show. Yes, please do. Smash that like button. One of these days I'm going to have to show you my analytics page so that you can see exactly what happens when the one troll comes along and gives me the thumbs down and how it impacts the stats. Mark says, last call with Troy Pacelli. Don't be depressed, not good. As you say, things tend to take care of themselves. It may take a while, though. Well, yeah, but keep in mind that bill's on the going to vote today. So let's see if the coalition sticks together or if it has completely fallen apart. Yo, what's going on? I'm on lunch break, sandwich and chips, and a Gatorade drink. Well, welcome, Chester Bot Plugger. So glad that you are here today. It was nice seeing you last night on Geeky Geezers. And Jonathan follows up with good afternoon. Wilkie's Movies and Music, whom you should be subscribed to. He had a great interview with Deleted Scenes last night during the reserved seats late night over on Deleted Scenes channel. You might want to go check that out. Boogers are secret weapon to fling at our enemies. Like a booger. Absolutely. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Oh, I guess I got to share. If I'm going to share my screen, I got to actually share my screen. So the entire screen. This one, and again, the link is down below in the description. This one comes to us from That Park Place. It is the Ray movie is delayed again. Star Wars hits another bump, according to Lucasfilm Scoopers. I do really appreciate the picture that they chose for this one. It's gotten comical. This was an article that we talked about. Actually, it may not have been this one. There were a number of articles related to this piece of news that we talked about last night on Geeky Geezers. But I like to support That Park Place. I actually happen to be a pro member, but I am not signed in right now. Otherwise, that banner at the top would be red. Anyway, when we talked about it last night, Boomer made the comment as he was looking at the notes I had sent him. He's like, it's funny. He says, I see that Troy has now moved the Star Wars Ray-related news bits to the miscellaneous section at the end of the stream. And he's noting that we used to have Disney Star Wars as its own segment. And Doomcock and WDW Pro, and I think Tom Connors over at Midnight's Edge have all commented that their Star Wars content just doesn't do well. Nobody cares anymore. They really don't. So why are you talking about it today? Because I felt like talking about it today, okay? I mean, yeah, exactly, Booger. When will they realize that Ray can't carry a movie? Well, see, that's not what it's about. It's Kathleen Kennedy and her personal insert, her character insert. She wants the spotlight on her. And since it's very clear she's going to be retiring eventually, she wants to go out on a high note. That's not going to happen. she has bungled things so badly. You know, she is a laughingstock, and there's nothing that she could do to undo that. Let's get into the article, and then we'll kind of go through this. So, Rey movie is delayed again. Star Wars hits another bump, according to Lucasfilm scoopers. Star Wars fans, those who remain, get ready for a slew of rumors regarding the Rey movie and a dose of accurate truth we're ready to relay. Again, this is coming from That Park Place. Lucasfilm has reportedly put its Rey Skywalker-led, let's face it, that's Rey Palpatine, Star Wars movie on hold, according to multiple industry insiders. While not officially canceled, and keep in mind, usually projects like this don't get canceled; they just get put off. I mean, technically, the Rian Johnson trilogy has not officially been canceled, but it's never going to happen, and we all know it. They haven't talked about it for years. While not officially canceled, the project, once touted as the next major theatrical chapter in the Star Wars saga, has been quietly removed to the back burner amid internal restructuring and shifting franchise priorities. I think we've heard about this, that they've said that Dave Filoni and some other dinglehopper are taking over for Kathleen Kennedy, so her say in what happens seems to be muted now. I think that's what they're referring to here. Don't know to what extent that's a good thing. I don't think Dave Filoni is exactly a step up, but it does mean that Kathleen Kennedy can't just, greenlight her Rey movie and go forward with it. The next movie is going to be, is it going to be The Mandalorian, or is it going to be that pilot movie, that Starfighter or whatever it's called? Anyway, those are the priorities, and those, in quotes, shifting priorities kind of demonstrate how marginalized Kathleen Kennedy has become behind the scenes. But again, doesn't really matter. Nothing significant changes. It's just swapping out one turd for another. The film, tentatively titled Star Wars New Jedi Order. There's a problem. Was set to star Daisy Ridley in her return as Rey, rebuilding the Jedi Order 15 years after the rise of Skywalker. It was to be directed by Academy Award-winning documentarian Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy. Everyone was clamoring for that one, and had cycled through several writers, including Damon Lindelof, Stephen Knight, and most recently, the bankers, George Nolfi, whatever. In other words, Lucasfilm has already shelled out to purchase scripts from 3 different people that are never going to get used. More wasted money on a movie that's never going to actually get made. According to reports by entertainment insider Daniel Richman, the film has been placed on hold, you think, while Lucasfilm focuses on other projects in development. Among these are The Mandalorian and Grogu. Wonderful title. Currently in production and scheduled to release on May 22nd, 2026, so that's less than a year away. They better be well into filming by this point. And director Sean Levy's Star Wars Starfighter, which is reportedly cast Ryan Gosling as, and is being targeted for a 2027 release. So it's not as close to getting started as The Mandalorian. Mandalorian's going to be your next one. Yeah. So some fans might see that as a win. The Mandalorian wins out over Rey. Again, Swapping one turd for another. And everyone is saying that this Star Wars Starfighter is definitely going to happen. I've got my doubts, but I don't know anything. I have no inside information or anything like that. However, not all industry voices agree on the terms on hold. Journalist Jeff Snyder has pushed back on the characterization, stating Lucasfilm doesn't have a finished script yet. If it doesn't have a finished script yet, there's no movie happening. It's a pipe dream. It's Fugazi. So it's not on hold. It's actively being written. They're just waiting on it. Yeah, and they've been waiting for how long? This is what is also called in the industry development hell. His comments suggest that the project remains in development limbo, or hell, rather than outright paused, but confirms that production is nowhere near starting. Of course, it should be noted that Rey was supposed to release in 2025, not still to be in scripting limbo. This is from the Star Wars Holocron back in April. Lucasfilm are currently hoping to release the Rey film in 2025. Oh, this is from 2023. This is the historic information. So this is how long they've been talking about it. I believe it was 2023 or late 2022 that this was announced at Celebration. And everyone was like, ooh, there's going to be a new Rey movie. And most of us were like, we'll believe it when we actually see it. Oh, they wouldn't bring out Rey if, Daisy Ridley if it wasn't actually happening. Want to bet? How many other movies have they done this with? Remember, what's her name? The one that did Wonder Woman was going to do the Rogue Squadron film. That never happened. And that was announced at Celebration as well. Followed by Dave Filoni's movie a year later. Yeah, I guess not. They've moved Mandalorian up. The uncertainty stems in part from Lucasfilm's evolving release strategy. The studio, under the leadership of Kathleen Kennedy, is now spacing out major theatrical releases and giving more breathing room between projects. And maybe actually starting to release stuff in the cinema where it could possibly make money, rather than relegating everything to their streaming service that's not making money. And even if it is popular, isn't going to bring in more subscribers. So it's still a net zero for them. With Disney facing pressure to revive Star Wars theatrically after a 6-year absence from cinemas, the company appears to be prioritizing proven concepts and marquee characters like The Mandalorian and Grogu. I'm not sure you could call those marquee characters until they've had a movie under their belt. Those are still, yes, popular characters, at least as far as marketing goes, because they've been, as far as the streaming service goes, first 2 seasons were popular, 3rd season not so much. I'm not sure how many people are really going to be excited about this. Additionally, a rumored new trilogy spearhead by Simon Kinberg may be influencing how and when Rey's story unfolds. Sources suggest that rather than a standalone feature, Rey may be repositioned as a key character across multiple interconnected films, further delaying the timeline of the new Jedi Order as originally conceived. I have heard, and maybe I'm getting ahead of this article, I'm not sure. I have heard that there's speculation that Rey will receive a cameo appearance in Starfighter, kind of as a test market to see how do people react to it. The project's Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker and Daisy Ridley as Rey. Oh, from The Rise of Palpatine, yeah. The project's turbulent development history has also contributed to delays. Damon Lindelof departed the film early on, citing creative differences. A lot of people have creative differences when it comes to Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy. Stephen Knight of Peaky Blinders fame. I've heard of this thing. I don't know what it is, to be honest with you. Was brought on next, but he too left, reportedly due to dissatisfaction with the direction. George, and I think, and I've seen this happen with directors, writers, and actors who have been approached to do Star Wars stuff and tentatively nibbled and then gone, nope, nope, nope. Because they realize how toxic this could end up being for their careers. Not to mention, Kathleen Kennedy just, I can't work with him, and gets rid of him. Just some of the best directors. Nope, nope, nope. George Nolfi was later attached, but there has been little public confirmation regarding his progress. For fans of Rey, the sequel trilogy era, the news will be disappointing. Yeah, for all three of them. Daisy Ridley's return was announced with fanfare at 2023's Star Wars Celebration, and the film was expected to help steer the franchise into its next chapter post-Skywalker saga. Let me tell you why I know this Rey movie is never going to happen. I could be wrong, but this is my current supposition. If Disney was behind this, and behind this character, and behind the sequel trilogies, all this time that there's been nothing done with Rey Skywalker Palpatine, they would be putting her in other movies. What else has she been in besides that train movie? As far as I know, nothing else. They're not hyping her up. They're not building her as a star to garner her for star power in a future film. They have no faith in her, and they have no faith in the character. For now, it appears that Lucasfilm is content to let the Jedi rest, at least temporarily. While New Jedi Order may eventually see the light of day, not unless some fan decides to do it using AI, its fate is now tethered to the completion of a script, the performance of other Star Wars films in the pipeline, and the broader strategy to revitalize the brand on the big screen. More importantly, however, we'd like to add one more nugget of truth for readers so that you can make sense of what's really happening at Lucasfilm. There we go. There we go. No official release date has been set for the film prior to this reported pause. No script is finished, with Kathleen Kennedy almost certain to leave Lucasfilm. It's up to the next Star Wars leader to decide what to do with Rey. That's, of course, going to be Dave Filoni, who is, has his nose so far up Kathleen Kennedy's butt that he may as well just be Kathleen Kennedy in a cowboy hat. Just saying. But that is the article from WDW. Well, it was written by WDW Pro. It's hosted on that Park Place, and the link again is in the description below. And before I get to your comments, I am going to take a quick station identification break and let you know what we've got coming up this week.
You are watching Liquid Lunch, streaming every weekday at noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. Let's sip together. This week on Live from Sparkwood and 21, we'll be taking a deep dive into the dark depths of the unfathomable David Lynch film Mulholland Drive. Join us this Tuesday at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern on Deleted Scenes and Affiliates.
An uprising hits Earth, and Servalan finds herself a prisoner in her new presidential palace. Meanwhile, Avon's hot on the scent of Bartholomew, the Federation agent who murdered his beloved Anna Grant. It's Rumors of Death, this Tuesday on Last Call presents Blake 7 at 10 p.m. Central, 11 Eastern.
It's Thursday night, and Netters Network talks to the streamers who have everybody talking. It's Thursday Things, Thursdays at 9 Central, 10 Eastern on Netters Network.
This week on Saturday Night at the Movies, Big Al presents the 1981 screwball comedy Zorro the Gay Blade. Big Al presents Films with Friends, Saturday at 9 Central, 10 Eastern on Big Al Presents.
Every Sunday evening, Aged Boomer and Papa Pacelli bring you the rundown of the week's geek news, or at least what they think is interesting. You may have heard about it somewhere else, but Boomer and Pacelli put a spin on it you likely won't hear anywhere else. It's Geeky Geezers, every Sunday evening at 8 Central, 9 Eastern.
We now return to our liquid lunch.
Okay, let's get back to it. So I think Booger makes a great point here. It is still something of morbid interest to fans. Just doesn't bring the clicks from casual viewers. And I guess that's basically what I was getting at when I said I wanted to talk about it today, right? I have a morbid interest in this. And I am as fed up as all the rest of the fans. Oh, Kathleen Kennedy's going to be leaving this year because she was going to be leaving last year and the year before that and the year before that and the year before that. Whatever, right? Dave Filoni's in charge, but that doesn't mean anything's going to change. Oh, the Mandalorian's going to save everything. Yeah, no, not so much. No ray of sunshine here. That's absolutely true. But ching. We who remain. Yeah, that's true. And honestly, it's kind of like you've broken up with an ex, but every now and again you go back and look at their social media just to see what they're up to. Again, out of morbid curiosity. That doesn't mean you still want to date them, or you still have you have a passing morbid interest, right? I want a sequel to the holiday special. Booger, did you know that I do a holiday special rewatch every year in November, and I make holiday special custom figures. For example, this is the what is it called? The Drombot? Was that his name? One of the Harvey Korman characters. I put a lot of detail into that electronic device. That was, I haven't gotten it on a card back yet. This one is unfinished, but you can see an example of the card back. Right now, that is just the Target exclusive, what do you call it? Award ceremony Luke Skywalker. I'm going to be swapping the head out of that one. But you can see the custom card back that I've done for it, and the back with the get a free Akmina action figure. I also have a video up on the channel that is based on the promo for the old Boba Fett, mail away. Just replacing it with Akmina and some of those figures instead of the other figures. And it's one of the more popular videos on the channel. You could go check that out. It'll be a Grogu movie with guest appearance by Mando. Most mostly because they are required to hire Pedro Pascal for all movies. That's funny, but here's my prediction. I think Pedro Pascal has kind of, he has outlived his usefulness in the Mandoverse. I believe he's going to be killed off in this movie. I believe that Katie Sackhoff's character is going to become the eponymous Mandalorian, and she will take over caring for Grogu. That is my expectation for this upcoming movie, which would again be very much in keeping with the way Dave Filoni handles things. His characters are way too important to him to not do that. Frankly, a feature-length Trooper Mom movie would be better than anything Disney could make. Probably true. I'd like to see what's her name? I'm forgetting her. Dolores, the Imperial HR, those fan films from that fan creator. I'd love to see her get a feature-length film, or at least a cameo in a somewhat tongue-in-cheek feature, Star Wars feature. Star Wars needs to be put on the shelf for 5 to 10 years, but Disney can't do that. No, they really can't afford that. They need to make it profitable. They need to get radical about doing something with it. And they do need to get rid of Kathleen Kennedy. They need to grab Filoni by the ears and say, she's gone now. You don't have to do what she wanted. Make this profitable. Although they never should have put him in charge, because it's going to be all Ahsoka and I can't even remember Katie Sackhoff's character name. My eyeballs! Welcome, Boosh McFadden. Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. I am so glad you're here. Yeah, exactly. It has been a while. I am glad you are here. Glad you are here to celebrate a Monday. Well, to have liquid lunch with us in any regard. And he says, hey, Booger. And hey, Netter. PJ of Orville Nation. Good to see you, my friend. Together we grow. Guys all saying hi to each other. That is encouraging. Thank God he finally scrolled. I hated that scene. Yeah. I am surprised it's not been burned altogether. Yes, dirty martini. That's my most common lunch, because the brine and the olives, and that's where the nutrition is. Monkey, they burned all of their COVID monies. Yeah. Oh, money. They burned all their COVID monies. Yes, they did. It's over and done with. It's time to move on. I love Mulholland Drive. David Lynch Insanity. My father and I analyzed that movie. Well, we're going to analyze it on Tuesday night at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern on Deleted Scenes and Affiliates. Last week we watched the movie. Tonight we're going to parse the movie. Let's see here. $2 billion to create the Galactic Hotel. $5,000 for 2 nights. $70 minimum for a meal. $25 for drinks. $2 billion to take it all down again. Yup. Pretty much. And I think what bothers me the most is, just like their Star Wars World or whatever it is at Disney World, it's a great idea, poorly implemented, and terrible missed opportunities. If they had made their Star Wars World with different sections for the different worlds from the different eras, you want to have your friggin' sequel trilogy, somewhere in the back somewhere, fine, do it. But get Tatooine in there and get Hoth in there. And Hoth would be good. You make that an internal thing, highly air conditioned, and you're going through the trenches and stuff like that. That would be ingenious, especially in the summer heat. But no, that's that. Anyway, don't even get me started. Yep, he does do a holiday watch party. Y'all need to riff more. Absolutely. Do you have Luke's hand? There you go. Yep, I actually do have action figures that have removable hands, both for Luke. Well, both for Luke, for Walrus Man, for Vader. I mean, I swear, Star Wars is basically a farewell to arms. I hate Grogu. It was cute for about 3 minutes, and then all I saw was the puppet. Way overused. Yoda in Empire was more real. I agree with you 100%. I absolutely do. Just like George effed up the marketing on Star Wars when it was first released, Disney effed up the marketing on Grogu. And people were buying, Etsy stuff that people were making unlicensed before anything ever hit the market. They missed their opportunity, and now they're saturating the market. It's stupid. It's just stupid. Welcome, Samuel Procter. Good to see you, my friend. Salute. I find it really funny that you misspelled Ray's name in the title. Did I really? What did I say? Did I say R-A-Y? I bet I'm the only one who noticed that because nobody cares. Yeah, nobody cares. It's absolutely right. Star Wars can't survive under Disney control. I mean, it's dead already. All they could do is... Disney's going to have to get radical about their approach to Star Wars. And they're going to have to... I don't care how they do it, they're going to have to decanonize that sequel trilogy. They really are. They really, really are. I can't think of any other way around it. Hello, my friends. Sorry I'm late. Got putting together my new Lazy Susan. So you did get one. I am so glad to hear that, Big Al. Disney did screw the Rancor on Star Wars World. I did not know they even had a Rancor on Star Wars World. That would have been cool to see if they had pulled it off correctly. Yeah. See, I noticed I just didn't say anything because, again, nobody cares. Maybe I'll edit it, after we finish the stream. Maybe not, because, again, who cares? Who cares? It's funny because, so when we got to this article last night on Geeky Geezers, Boomer was saying maybe we should do like a Friday stream to talk about how we would fix Star Wars. And I'm like, I'm willing to do that with the DC universe. I'm willing to do that with Star Trek. I'm willing to do that with the Universal Monsters. I'm not really willing to do that with Star Wars. First off, I think there's enough people out there on the YouTube sphere that are doing all kinds of... Don't change it, it's funny. What I might do, if I do change it, maybe I'll go in and leave it misspelled and put, the in paren SIC, spelling is correct. There's enough other video makers out there in the YouTube sphere that have done how they would fix Star Wars. Some of them are really, really good. Not to mention just videos talking about what George Lucas's original plan for Star Wars was, which would have been significantly better. But what's even more compelling to me, because I kind of have lost interest in the post Return of the Jedi era, is I'm getting a kick out of a lot of these fan made films that are all like what ifs. What if Anakin had won the duel with Obi-Wan, or what if Padme had joined Anakin on Mustafar? What if Anakin hadn't fallen to the dark side? All these different interesting what ifs. Some of them are really, really good. But I think that it is less likely to fix Star Wars. I think what they're going to have to do is continue to do friggin' prequels and sidequels that all take place, up to the sequel trilogy. They're never going to be able to do anything in the sequel trilogy era and beyond. Rey is so awful, she might as well be Rey. Yeah. The guy at the gas station who hands you your change for a pack of smokes. Not wrong. Or I was going to say, like, Rey at, Rey's Occult Bookstore, but, But Rey is an awful character. She is exactly what people are talking about when they talk about a Mary Sue. An author self-insert, but an author that doesn't have the talent to write a compelling character. Because people have made this point a number of times. Every author who creates characters for their story is creating self-inserts. Every character for example, every character in a Stephen King novel is a self-insert. Now, obviously, the first example you go to is Misery. I don't remember character names, but, James Caan's character in the... is that his name? James Caan? The author character in the story is very clearly meant to be inspired by Stephen King himself. But in writing that story, the antagonist character, the crazy fan, also to some degree it has to be Stephen King, because he's the one writing the story, right? The cop that comes to rescue him, or I actually don't even remember the story that well, so I'm making crap up here. I'm assuming somebody comes and gets him out of there, or he reports it to the cops or something. All of those characters are author self-inserts. They all, you draw on elements of your own memory and experience when you write. But what we're talking about with a Mary Sue, I just went through puberty again there. When we're talking about self-inserts like Rey, keeping in mind, too, that it's not like Kathleen Kennedy wrote the character. She just told the people writing it, you need to put in a brunette, young, attractive, with a British accent, and she's got to be the bestest ever. I'm paraphrasing, but I'm sure something like that was said, that she could see herself in. You see something very similar in The Dial of Dysentery, Although the attractiveness on that particular one is questionable. Your mileage may vary. I've been putting together my own rewrite of the prequels and sequels for about 6 years. That's been fun. I would love for you to share that somehow. I'd love to see what you're doing with that. May make a free comic book when it's done. Cool. That would be awesome. Would Lucas really have made something better? The prequels are not good. There are some highlights, but overall, they are not good movies. So this is what I've... First off, I would argue that the prequels are better in retrospect Didn't care for them at the time, but they've kind of grown on me. Maybe it's because, by comparison to the sequels, they seem like high art. But I do feel that the prequels represent what Star Wars, the original trilogy, would have been if Lucas didn't have people around him reining him in and telling him, edit this should go here, this is too slow, this is too much exposition, all of that. Honestly, I've been of the opinion that first movie never should have happened at all. You should have started with what was the second movie? Rise of the Clones or Enter the Clones or whatever it was. That's where it should have started. Anakin should have already been a Padawan by this point. We didn't need to see his whole backstory. In fact, his whole backstory could have been given to us in one or two lines here and there. All it would have taken was for Obi-Wan to say something about, ever since, Master Qui-Gon took you away from, slavery on Tatooine and blah, 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 and this and that. I made Troy laugh. I win. That's not a high bar. It's actually quite easy to get me to laugh. Ray's music exchange from the Blues Brothers. I had forgotten that. That's right. Ray Charles. Exactly. Wow. Good connection. Very good connection. Yeah. I won't see it either. Yeah, Disney's not really getting my money anymore. Ray is an author, producer, studio executive insert. Yes, the Force is effed. Let's just put it that way. The Force is effed. Annie Wilkes? Who's it? Oh, the other. Okay. My hypothesis is that the root of the fall of Star Wars movies began with a few key events during the production of Return of the Jedi, being the butterfly effect that set the path in motion later. That could be. That's when Lucas started to... I'm not even sure it started there, but it became most obvious there when he started making narrative decisions based on marketing, what toys he could sell, rather than what would make for a good story. I always felt that the idea of if it would have been Kashyyyk instead of Endor, and Wookiees instead of Ewoks, he said, I wanted them to be primitive, and we'd already proven that Wookiees weren't primitive because we'd seen, Chewbacca, helping to restore the Millennium Falcon. And no. You're completely misunderstanding the culture here, right? You have intelligent beings living a primitive life. You take one of those primitive people being Wookiees, out of that environment, and they are perfectly capable of learning about technology, right? If I go to, I don't know, some Aboriginal tribe in, Middle Africa, or, some island or something that has no technology, right? And hunts with bow and arrow, right? I could take that individual into our world, teach them our language, and teach them a trade and skill. They are every bit as intelligent as any other human being in the world, right? They've just grown up in a primitive culture. And Wookiees are no different. In fact, Wookiees would have made a great analog to Native Americans, right? Native tribe that has acquired blasters from the Empire, You know, whether it's because, you know, they've stolen them or purchased them or whatever. But by and large, they still live a very primitive life. That could have been a very compelling story. But he wanted to sell teddy bears. That was the problem. Better in retrospect because Disney Star Wars is on par with a dirty diaper loaded with curry vomit and death rats filled with maggots. Dead rats filled with maggots. Yes, the prequels are good by comparison to that. Yeah, that's what I mean. I've said the same thing about Superman Returns. I hated that movie when it first came out. Now, after the Snyderverse, I look back on it and go, yeah, maybe it wasn't that bad, you know? That path could have been changed. Instead of hunting merchandise, he could have focused on writing. Yeah. That's exactly what I was getting at. Too soon to play. We'll meet again. We'll meet again. Don't know where. Don't know when. Just got back from doing a few things around the house. I don't blame you. You have the day off. You should get things done while you can. I never bought Lucas's civilized Wookiee argument. See, you and me, yeah. It only took a couple of generations for Indians to handle rifles. Yeah. Honestly, it didn't even take a couple. It took one. One generation saw they were useful, purchased them, and started using them. And the following generation saw them as ubiquitous. Yeah. Exactly right. Real quick before we go, I do want to ask you again to hit that like button. I want to show you this. This is what I was talking about. So, obviously, Liquid Lunches, Geeky Geezers, especially on my channel. Most people watch Geeky Geezers over on Age of Boomers channel. But I don't get that many likes per video, so I'm looking at about 22 likes, 25 likes for last call, 15 likes. But if I hover over this, I can see there's always this one asshole giving me a thumbs down, you know? And is 93%, 92.3% bad? No, it's not. Does it really hurt the channel? No, it doesn't. But it annoys me. So I would really, really appreciate it if you guys would just consider, you know, hitting that like button. You know, every time you come, just hit that like button. If nothing else, it's a little hit of dopamine for me and encouraged me to keep doing this. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed ussarnG's comment. Welcome, by the way, ussarnG. Likewise, if you try to live off the land like a primitive culture, you couldn't, but you could learn. Exactly right. Which used to be what the Boy Scouts was all about. But, you know, that, I don't know what's happened to the Boy Scouts now. They can't listen or think or learn, bro. It's all about the ideology or agenda rather than creativity. Products that require a government checklist that are not geared towards the consumer. It's not even a government checklist because this whole checklist concept has been getting struck down by the courts as unconstitutional. We've already covered all of that. 1984 bullcrap. Yeah, that was supposed to be a cautionary tale, not a how-to. Most of the world leaders have used it as a how-to. Thank you so much, Nate, for the $5 super chat. I hit the like button every single channel I watch, especially you guys. Yeah, you know, since I've been doing this, I do the same thing. I make sure I always hit the like button. If I hit a downvote, I leave a comment to say why. At least do that. That's my thought. Just saying. Anyway, that's all I've got tonight, members. You know what? Let me real quick while I'm still here. Let me go to my channel. Let me look at the posts. Yep. So I got 9 votes from the members on tonight's movie, and it's looking like it's gonna be from 1985. Fletch, the comedy, the screwball comedy with I'm forgetting what that dingbat's name was. Chevy Chase. That's it. The Chevy Chase comedy. There we go. So I would love it if you guys could join me. You could join me if you are a member, so you have to join me to join me. For as little as $2 a month. $2. That's all I ask. You can give that much to the guy with a coffee cup on the corner, for crying out loud. It would mean the world to me, and I do a members movie night every Monday night at 8 Central, 9 Eastern. So as soon as I wrap up here, I got to get that stream put together. But if while I'm doing that, one of you guys decides to become a member and go and vote, you might change what movie we'll be watching tonight. Right now, Fletch is at 78%, but again, this is only 9 votes, so just a couple of votes could really change things. St. Elmo's Fire is at 22%, and surprisingly, Perfect with Jamie Lee Curtis looking absolutely fabulous in her spandex, is at 0. Nobody wanted to see that. Although I'm wondering how many people even remember the movie Perfect to know why it would even be on the list. There's also George and Marsha Lucas's divorce. I think George became a different person after that, and it caused him to cancel his prequel plans at the time so he could focus on raising his daughter. Yeah, I agree with that. I just feel like he could have delegated it, and he could have delegated it better. He really mismanaged something he had built up, and it's a real shame. As a single father, it made him change there is another line from an original character to making that Leia and becoming siblings, rushing that loose end. Yeah, I always imagined it was because he was not planning to be doing a sequel trilogy. I think that's why he did it that way. Thank you so much, Geek Flag with Nate Knows. You are already such a wonderful contributor. And do you know who you just gifted that to? You gifted that membership to the talented one himself, Andy Masterson. Andy Masterson, who I met at MegaCon just a couple months back. He's been on my channel a couple of times. He is good people. Hung out with him over on Doomcock's channel too. So welcome to membership, Andy Masterson. And I have got to wrap this up because I am about to run long, and I don't mean to keep you guys. You guys should all get back to work. And I want to thank every single one of you for sharing your liquid lunch with me today. You guys all take care. And if I can't see you tonight at Members Night at the Movies, I hope to see you on tomorrow's Liquid Lunch. Salute, everyone.
Goodbye. Hope to see you again real soon.
So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun, our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon, chasing that jazz under the high noon.